Preparations are underway for a very busy race weekend here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and it all kicks off this Friday night with the GAF Roofing Open 80 for the Modifieds. And what a banner field of cars we have that are entered for that race, including a couple of big national stars.
Yeah, you might have heard of Ryan Newman, Daytona 500 winner back in 2008, SRX racer, coming to Stafford to make his modified debut. And he's raced modified since the late 2000s, early 2010s, and he's done well on them. So it'll be fun to see what Newman can do driving the 53 car this upcoming Friday. And then you got Ryan Preece, who's always one of the drivers to watch whenever he comes to Stafford. You got Jimmy Blewett making an entrance as well. So it is a stacked lineup. Over 25 cars looks like coming into Friday night. And the last open race we had was a wild one, the Bud Light Open 80. I mean, you had Ronnie Williams, Ronnie Silk battling for the lead, and all of a sudden, Williams goes around and Silk gets sent to the back, and who wins? Woody Pitcat. And he probably has the award for the best celebration in victory lane afterwards. I mean, the checker flag was doused in all types of beer afterwards, and it didn't smell that great either. But it was such a crazy race. The Open Modifieds put on a show every time they come here, and with the field we have, especially with Newman coming in, it's going to be a fun night.
Woody Pitcat will be here, as will Ronnie Williams, who's on a roll as of late, an Open winner earlier this year, and the most recent SK Modified winner last Friday night.
Yep. People sometimes forget, two-time SK Modified champion back-to-back in 2018, 2019. Yeah, he may not have been as fast the last couple years, but he's been pretty good throughout most of the season. Heck, he started the year with a podium itself, so the 50 team, they got it going right now. It's a lot of work they did in the offseason. Ronnie Williams has always praised Adam Scavera's car owner for all the work they've done in the winter months leading up to this season and starting to pay off for that 50 team.
He is the championship point leader coming into this Friday night in a season that has seen 6 different winners in 7 races. I guess the question is, who's next?
Well, I mean, you still got a list of drivers who haven't gotten a win yet this year. Mike Christopher Jr. is one of them. You got guys like Tyler Hines, who looked good in the first lap of the race and then ended up in the wall because of a mechanical issue, but he's had good runs all throughout the year. He won 2 races last year, hasn't won yet this season. Keith Rocco's another one. There's a lot of drivers. You have 10 to 15 guys that can win any given week in the SK Modifieds. So there's still a lot of drivers who you expect to get a win that's still looking for it, but we still got another half of the season to go.
While there's a lot of parity in the SK Modifieds right now, there's just been one driver in victory lane over the last 4 weeks in the late models, and he's on a roll right now.
It's Adam Gray's world, and we're just living it right now. I mean, it's crazy. What more can you say? 4 consecutive late model wins. I think the last time a driver did that in the late models, they had a bounty on him. I'm talking about Tom Fern a few years ago when he won so many races in a row. There was a bounty on him to see if anyone could beat him. I mean, no one can touch Adam Gray right now. Even when he starts in the back of the pack, he finds his way up to the front and comes out with the win. I don't know what anyone can do right now. I mean, the other cars that have been fast, Kevin Gambacorta wrecked last Friday pretty hard in turn 4. Tom Fern was up there, but Adam got by him. So it's just a huge question mark as to who has anything for the 97 car. And when it comes to the points picture, Michael Ray's not had a good couple races compared to how he was earlier in the year. So the points picture, to say the least, is tightened up. In fact, it's a tie.
And while the late models are tied between Adam and Michael, the SK Lights have the largest gap as far as the championship leaders are concerned going into this Friday.
Yeah, Tyler Chapman really hasn't had a bad race, and he finished second last Friday, right on the back bumper of Derek Debus, who returned to victory lane for the first time since Spring Sizzler weekend. And that's pretty commanding from Derek Debus because a couple times since he was put in the back of the field for the last 3 features, he made his way up from 31st to 8th, from 25th to 4th. And then he starts up in the top 10 last Friday and gets the victory in pretty dominating fashion. I mean, he carved through the field pretty quickly. I mean, no one could touch him except maybe Tyler Chapman. He thought maybe another lap or 2, he would have a shot at that 56, but Debus returns to victory lane. Tyler remains consistent, and that's why he's got a big point lead of over 50 to the next person.
52 points, to be exact, for Tyler Chapman atop the championship standings going into this week. In the limited late models, a new name back to victory lane, finally getting that monkey off his back for Gary Patnode.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Alex Fern's bad luck, but Gary Patnode's had just as much bad luck this season. He started going in the right direction the previous week with a podium and then gets the win. It did not come easy. He had a line of cars behind him, Jeremy Lavoie, Alex Fern, Rich Hammond. and he held them off. He got the job done. Good for that 22 team, and Gary always enjoys victory. His victory lane celebrations don't disappoint. It's just genuine excitement. He knows how rough a road it's been this year for this team, and to get that win, it's a big one for them. And then points picture-wise, Rich Hammond, again, finds his way to the podium. He was running in around 4th or 5th in the last few laps, and then Jeremy Lavoie had his last lap incident, and Hammond found his way onto the podium once again. 3 victories, but podium after podium after podium is why he's the points leader.
By 12 over Jeremy Lavoie going into this Friday night's race. And in the street stocks, familiar name back in victory lane. It seems like the 11 team really has it hooked up right now with Travis Hydar.
Well, 3 wins in 7 races, not too shabby. And it's a big one, the 30-lap feature event win. Last year's 30-lapper, Travis didn't make past lap 2 before getting caught in an accident and was very frustrated about it. This time around, he wins it. Gets the big money, $700 to win that race. And he extends his point lead because Jason Finkbein, who was tied for the point lead going into the event, had an accident late in the race in turn 2, ending his night. So Hydar is doing what he has to do. He just has to keep it going through the summer stretch because the summer stretch last year is what killed him in points. He's already got 3 victories. He leads the division not only in points but in wins, and he's pretty much the most consistent car every race.
And you mentioned Jason Finkbein. That incident in turn 2 early last week has dropped that team to 5th in points, now 40 out of the championship lead, as he was, as Bonssa mentioned, tied for the points lead going into last Friday night.
Well, they had 24 cars last Friday,
big field.
That's a 48-point swing from first to last, so you really can't afford another mulligan this year, and that's what happened to him last Friday.
Get here early if you're attending either of the events, as we are expecting big crowds both days. And like always, if you can't be here on Friday night, you can tune into all the action on flowracing.com beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.